The Arizona Cardinals are getting active in their head coach search. Folks, 11 interviews have been confirmed. We're going to run through all the names with you guys on today's show. But first, here's a new channel leaderboard for the new channels here at Chat Sports. The Cardinals fans, we're 7th in terms of new subs gained. I mean, I don't want to lose to these other fan bases. Where are my diehard Cardinals fans? We have gained 117 new subscribers, though, so shout out to you guys that have subscribed. But I don't want to lose to the Chargers channel. Who's a Chargers fan? Hit the subscribe button. Cardinals updates coming your way. We need a great head coach, so subscribe, and let's get into this video. You're watching Cardinals Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Joey O'Donoghue, here to break down all things Arizona Cardinals in this offseason with lots of question marks and fun new head coach replacements for Gannon. I told you it's a brand new channel here for the diehard Cardinals fans, so do hit that subscribe button. Without further ado, let's start with the first update that I think is the most major for you Cardinals fans. Adam Schefter tells us that while the Falcons announced an official interview with John Harbaugh, he already has been conducting preliminary and extensive phone calls with the Giants, Titans, Browns, Raiders, and Cardinals, folks, per sources. He is trying to determine who to meet with later this week and into next week before making a decision. He is fully expected to coach in 2026 per sources. Harbaugh is not done. He wants to go coach a football team. And, man, I think that the Cardinals, this has to be your number one candidate. Okay? There is no doubt in my mind that John Harbaugh needs to be someone you go after immediately, folks. No excuses here. He's got to rise to the top. You got to go all in to get him, Michael Bidwell. Pay the man what he wants. A winning head coach, okay, a leader. If there's someone that could get in here, get serious, and turn around this Arizona Cardinals franchise that it's the worst season in franchise history last year, guys. We are not settling for this. The defense was poor. I'll show you that a little later in the show. The offense, too. And when you look at what Harbaugh was able to do in Baltimore with his 18 seasons there, I mean, the guy's a Super Bowl champion. He won that division 6 times. And that's a competitive division. You want to talk about the NFC West being tough? The AFC North has had some tough battles year after year after year. We need a coach that can win those. 4 AFC title game appearances as well. No-brainer. John Harbaugh should be number 1 on your list. But the Cardinals, let's track who they have actually requested to interview. Here are your names. I'm very excited about one of them, this one in particular, Rams offensive coordinator Mike LaFleur. You also see Packers DC Jeff Hafley, who's a hot name. Ex-Falcons head coach Raheem Morris. Don't like him at all. I don't think he's fit to coach a football team. Neither is Matt Nagy, but we're hearing Nagy won't call plays, so that could potentially benefit a team that hires him. Klint Kubiak, the Cardinals will request to interview, as well as 49ers defensive coordinator Robert Saleh. Vance Joseph, your old friend. Anthony Weaver, the Dolphins defensive coordinator. Thomas Brown, Patriots pass game coordinator. And like I just showed you, they have called John Harbaugh. Schefter calls it an extensive phone call. And, man, we got to do everything we can to get an interview with John. But here's 2 more that came in very recently. Okay, the Cardinals, they're going to interview Jesse Minter, the current Chargers defensive coordinator, as well as the Rams DC, Chris Shula. 2 hot defensive names in this pool as well that are getting a lot of talk. So who's most likely to be the Cardinals' next head coach? We're going to dive right into that. But first, I want your opinions. Tell me in the comments section, who do you want to be the next Cardinals head coach? If you could have your pick, anybody, let me know in the comments section. I'm going to go through and see who Cardinals fans want to hire. But fortunately or unfortunately, there's a lot of rumors here with Vance Joseph. The betting odds, the reporters think they're predicting Vance Joseph to be the Cardinals' next head coach. Now, there's a lot of defensive coordinators on the list that I showed you. Personally, I think the Cardinals need to go offensive. I think in this league, you need a young offensive-minded head coach to turn things around, okay? Get a new DC if you want. But there's a lot of rumors with Vance Joseph. And I just question it because if you didn't want Vance Joseph after 2022, all right, he's already interviewed for your head coach position. And you went with Jonathan Gannon for 3 years, a different defensive-minded coach, which didn't work. Why now? Why, after seeing Vance Joseph in a different system for a few years, have some success? Oh, yeah, now he's our guy. We missed out 3 years ago. Yeah, he's the guy. He's only gotten older. I don't understand, and I think a lot of Cardinals fans would be crashing out at the front office for making this decision. Seriously, this is the answer? Go back to Vance Joseph when you could have promoted him years ago? I think we're in for something fresh. We want something new, and this wouldn't be it. But if I had to play devil's advocate, make an argument for Vance Joseph, I do think he'd bring a good culture. Like I said, you talk about leadership, you talk about getting more serious here in Arizona, and that defense needs help. Even though I want offensive, defense was the biggest issue for Arizona last year. It was. They were giving up 40 in multiple outings, 30 plus. It was awful. And they were plagued by a couple injuries too. Every team has that excuse. But that needs to be serious revamping. But why is Vance Joseph the guy to do it? Robert Saleh could do the same thing. A candidate that Arizona has requested to interview. And Saleh has shot up my hot board lately, folks. The performance that San Fran was able to put on amongst all of their defensive injuries to upset the Eagles in the playoffs. Saleh not working with not much to work with. He's up my list. If you're going to go defensive and get a leader like that, Saleh I would consider over Vance Joseph at the moment. Some defensive ranks for the Cardinals in 2025. If you want to see what I'm talking about here, guys, points per game, they're 29th out of 32 teams. Giving up nearly 30 a game on average. It's unbelievable. Yards per game as well, 27th in the NFL. Opponent red zone scoring. When teams get to the red zone against Arizona, they're scoring a touchdown 63% of the time. We do need someone to change this culture. We do need someone to fix this. So I do think also Jesse Minter would be an interesting candidate because I did say they are interviewing Jesse Minter, and he worked under Jim and John Harbaugh since 2017. He was on the Ravens staff, Michigan, now the Chargers. So both Harbaugh brothers have coached up Jesse Minter. Keep his name in mind if you do want to go defensive. But I do think offensive is the way to go in this league. And someone I'm excited about that Arizona has requested to interview is Mike LaFleur, the Rams offensive coordinator at the moment, okay? LaFleur, the Rams offensive coordinator since 2023. He was also the Jets offensive coordinator from 2021 to 22. And he's from the Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan tree, okay? He had a stint with the 49ers. Look at the guys who are successful around the league. It's Sean McVay products, Shanahan products, and those two themselves. You need a young offensive genius. I think that's the direction that today's NFL is headed in. All right, if you go defensive and you have a good OC, that guy's going to get a head coach job somewhere else. So consider that, and LaFleur is exactly the young McVay and Shanahan product. He's only 38 years old, been coaching in the CFB and NFL since 2009. I like this as a candidate for Arizona to turn things around, to get the offense humming once again and develop the young quarterback that's going to be Kyler, or they move away from Kyler. And it's a younger draft quarterback. If they can trade up for a Mendoza or more slides to them now after a bad showing in the playoffs, lots to consider there. That's why you subscribe. I'll have plenty of videos on who Arizona's quarterback will be. But I like this idea. I also like Klint Kubiak, a name that I showed you on the list of candidates that they will interview, okay? He has some Shanahan ties. He had a stint with the 49ers in 2023. And we're talking about NFC West candidates now, right? LaFleur and Klint Kubiak. I mean, the current offensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks. You want to talk about offensive-minded? Kubiak's exactly that. Vikings OC, Saints OC, and he's the son of a Super Bowl champion head coach, okay? Gary Kubiak. I think that's why a lot of teams are interested in Klint so much. I mean, he is being heavily pursued here in this coaching cycle. He's also only 38 years old, and like I mentioned, had that stint with San Fran, some Kyle Shanahan ties. He's a very sought-after candidate right now. And I think this would be a W for the Cardinals if you poach someone in the NFC West, right? You want to be competitive in that division. And what would that do? Well, that improves Arizona's offense, right? Gannon was stale to me. You steal Kubiak or LaFleur, you automatically make an NFC West rival worse, and you get better in doing so. I think that's a W. And Kubiak, like I said, he is very sought after right now. I know of at least 5 teams that have requested to interview Klint Kubiak, the Cardinals being one of them. So he's a hot candidate right now, and this is a pool with not a lot of offensive minds in it, right? Mike McDaniel freed up recently. I feel like you guys don't like him, but he would be an option. He is a creative play designer. Kubiak's at the top of this pool, though, and so is LaFleur. So I do like that the Cardinals are interviewing both of them, and I will have you updated on which direction they go, who advances in this interview process. That's why hit that subscribe button. More videos coming when we hit 1,000 subscribers. We are the closest to 1,000 of the new channels, though. So we just need 59 people to hit the subscribe button. Please join the channel, join the family of Cardinals fans, and I'll have updates for you multiple times a week. A lot of fun here coming in this offseason, so hit that sub button. I'm your host, Joey O'Donohue. We'll see you next time on Cardinals Today.